What is up, Lobotomers gang? It's the guy. This is Gold Guy. Okay, I don't know what the hell is wrong with the gaming industry nowadays. Well, I do know what's wrong. Aside from all the best AAA companies competing for the best boss in hell, and all the talented game developers being mysteriously laid off in the middle of the night, never to be seen again. The one thing I hate is how everything has to be a remake or remaster nowadays. I do get it for games like the original System Shock, where the thing is so ancient that playing it feels like you're making love to somebody's grandma. There's some enjoyment to be found, but everything falls apart half an hour in, and something is bound to break if you try to go any further than that. But cases like The Last of Us 2 just baffles me. It didn't feature any gameplay improvements, so what's the point, Were you expecting to look at Abby's armpit hair in 4K? You sick freak. Well, at least it's not all bad, because Age of Mythology Retold is a pretty decent game. Well, I say that, but take it with a grain of salt, because I'm not very familiar with the original. I last played it when I hadn't developed a consciousness yet, when I couldn't tell the difference between a YouTuber and a predator. So excuse my fading memory and answer me this. What the f is all this hieroglyphic shit in the control panel? I don't remember having to decipher a goddamn zodiac cryptogram to play the original. I thought you just click the right mouse button and all the candles go stab each other. The only button I need to remember from the control panel is the one that instantly kills my worker to have more supplies for my units, which is pathetically low, by the way, in case you wanted to have too much fun, I guess. You gotta give them props though, the devs somehow managed to capture the essence of the original game, which unfortunately seems to be weirdly proportioned action figures swinging their weapons against each other to the sound of poorly synced audio effects. So that's what you're gonna look at for most of the game, assuming that you'll be looking at the action and not frantically switching between screens like a StarCraft 2 player. As mentioned before, there's an absence of weight to the audio design. There's no impact of weapons slicing flesh or arrows piercing throats. So combat just feels like banging a bunch of forks and spoons together until somebody goes insane and starts stabbing people with a fork. Which could very well be you if you keep clicking units randomly, because they repeat their dialogue over and over again every time you issue a new command. I'm immune to this debuff because of my innate insanity, which is true because I record in the padded cell. You don't believe it? See? No pain at all. But I can't imagine how long until somebody snaps and puts their head through the monitor if they keep listening to this. And my problem with the audio goes for the cutscenes as well. The lack of footsteps and ambience in combination with the realistic environment and blocky looking characters create an uncanny feeling to the game that makes it too cartoonish to take seriously and too high effort to laugh at, which I absolutely fucking hate. The game just pulls an Uno reverse card on my ability to make fun of it, which is my thing, which is all I do. Now I feel it's laughing at me. This is not to say that there's nothing to laugh at, however. Units just hilariously ragdoll and fly into a random direction every time you drop a god power on them, including your units, by the way. So you better hope that Zeus has slept with enough of your women that week, otherwise you might find yourself holding the short end of a particularly phallic looking stick. And there are a lot of these god powers as well, some of which are very useful, like the ability to summon packs of wolves to attack enemies' bases. Others I find absolutely worthless, like the ability to stop units from fighting, only for them to f*** off somewhere else and resume the melee shortly after. It's like telling the guy f***ing your wife to pause so you can finish crying and then grabbing the camera to record the action. Maybe strategically viable somewhere in the skirmish mode, but I'm not autistic enough to figure out all of the best strategies, okay? I just employ the good old hide in your base and build units until you have enough to phase roll the enemies when you hit the supply cap method that is so popular with people who don't play strategy games, aka fully functioning members of society. This is why I find it so contradictory that my favorite faction is the Norse, who places an emphasis on a very aggressive playstyle. They have mobile ox carts for resource gathering and their infantry can build anywhere on the map. This means you can park your Pimp-mobile right next to the enemy's base, then start pumping out units and chip away at the enemy's buildings. or inflict mental damage if you're playing against a real person. Other factions function basically the same, with each of them having different strengths and weaknesses. Not that it matters though, because in the end, combat just turns into a mosh pit with motherfuckers swinging haymakers blindly until somebody's nose gets pushed into the skull. I don't know about you, but how the am I supposed to micromanage my units mid-battle when all of them just look like Sid's abominations from Toy Story? Sometimes I click my glowy guy on their monsters to kill them faster, but most of the time I just cross my fingers and hope that I randomly bought enough units to counter theirs. It's a rock paper scissors system, so A counters B, B counters C, C counters A, that sort of stuff. But sometimes B counters A though, so you better have a C that counters B, okay? Otherwise you better get to building a wonder that summons a D to f that B. So I sat there doing nothing for literally 10 minutes, watching my guys just bang away while the bar incrementally fills up. Are you paid by the hours, man? Can you hurry up, please? But the result is worth it though, because the titan you summon can pretty much defeat anything dumb enough to get in his path. Unless the enemy has one of their own, in that case, back to the mosh pit we go. So I guess whether you like this game or not depends on what you're looking for. If you're either looking for an RTS game that tattoos the word fun on its forehead while hitting itself with a clown hammer, or just looking to relive your childhood memories, then this game is a no-brainer. Otherwise, fuck off and go sleep with some women or something. And subscribe, then check out my Patreon for the ad-free uncensored version of this video as well as extra content.